Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 8 of the Mercury 4 restoration stroke build. For those of you who may be new here, my name's Cliff. This is my YouTube channel where I restore old planes, as it turns out, as well as building new ones and put up flying videos. Anyway, if you're not subscribed, hit the little subscribe button and you'll be able to follow along with all of my really interesting videos. Cheers guys.
I've sort of cleaned it and tinned it a bit, so I've got some 1mm copper wire stripped out of a piece of lighting circuit wire. Okay, let's see if I can bind it up a little bit and see if it holds itself. You end up pulling that through there like that. So first thing is to flux her up. Got flux, flux core solder, but it's going to burn away, I think. So, see, this is my new iron, which I bought. It's 150 watts. Hopefully, it's man enough to heat up all of this metal. Need a bit of solder on the iron to transfer the heat. Can see the solder melting on the inside, look, which is good. Here we go. Looking good. Cleanliness is the key in preparation. Doesn't look too bad, I don't think, from what I can see. Just push a little bit more in there for good measure. I'm just going to wipe this. Not quite very good at the end there, but you know, for a first attempt, it's not too bad. Ooch, a bit warm. Well, there's plenty of solder on the back of that, or the good side, the outside. It's not too bad. It's flowed around to the end, maybe a little bit shiny there, but this slides in there like that. And I'll make the other one up, and then the rubber bands go around and prevents it from coming out. I think that's pretty successful, guys. Not bad for a first attempt really at sort of heavyweight soldering. I'll make up the other side and it probably will be even better, and then I'll come back to you and we'll have a look at it, put a couple of wheels on temporarily and see how it sits for the very first time. Okay, needless to say, this one went a little bit better. Quite pleased with them really. So that is looking pretty cool. If these are going to work or not, let's have a look. This band's probably a little bit on the short side really. Probably the wheels will probably drop off, but here we go. See if I can keep them on. All that noise is the wire. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Man, that looks pretty. That's a lovely wide track. Look at that. Oh man, I've got to say that was worth all the effort. I've just been outside, guys, and sanded both wings now. They're 99% ready for covering. As you can see, they are multicoloured, so I'm going to have to, at the very least, spray the top part of the wing. I've sprayed the centre section, just fizzed it over with a bit of red, and now I can cover it with red tissue, and that will match the fuselage then. So that's my next job. A couple of people were commenting on part 7, Gary and Bob were wondering about the tightness of this when it's sat down. Well, even now, look, it's it is, when the bands are on it, I mean, I'm just putting a little bit of pressure on that, and it is quite difficult to move. So I think it's going to be okay, and a little bit of movement won't hurt if I should cartwheel it. And yes, I know, as Gary said, the rubber bands to hold down are going to be affected by the sunshine and the fact they're under tension all the time. It wouldn't hurt to take them off, I suppose, between flights, you know, between outings. But there you go. So I'm going to move this off the bench, and I'm going to cover that with tissue, and that can be drying. And I suppose next I'm going to have to get the tailplane sorted out. I want to ease the elevators a little bit. They're a little bit tight on there. I want to change the hinges to pin hinges, and then that will be ready for covering also. So that's been sitting there, what, 5 weeks, something like that, maybe longer. Seems like forever. Still, there we are, coming on. I've decided I'm going to put piece on the side and then piece on the top. So it might be worth actually just doing this bottom bit as well. With a nice session up at the gliding field today, guys. It was the sort of monthly aerotow meeting, which frequently gets postponed when the weather's bad, but today we had a few hours of good sunshine before the weather came in, and most enjoyable. Right, so that's one side done. What I'm going to do is do the other side, and then I'll come back to you when I've got the top to do. Right, let's go for full width. Let's say about there, all the way down. It's a bit of an instant finish, this, really. You know, you see immediate results. So as usual, guys, thanks for following along. Hit the little like button down below, thumbs up that is, helps with the algorithm. And also, if you'd like to check out the join button just below, it's a direct link to if you'd like to directly support the channel, and if you do, it's much appreciated and helps to buy all this stuff. Anyway, let's get on with the build. Cheers, guys. There she is, sitting on her wheels in the garden, looking mighty fine. It's a huge spread, look at that. That's going to be pretty stable.
Welcome back, guys. For those of you who are channel members, you'd have seen a full-size mock-up out in the garden, and very impressive it looked too. So what I'm doing now is I'm obviously looking back at the tailplane now. I wasn't very happy when I built it with the gap down the sides here. It's just too tight for the covering and what have you. So I've just done one. I've just shortened it by 1/4 of an inch. 6.5, 6.6 millimeters to our metric friends, as you can see. So now I've got about sort of a 3 mil gap each side. That'll be filled quite a lot by the covering. So now I'm just going to do this one. I'm also going to hinge it properly with 3 hinges. I've only put 2 in for temporary. Holding it vertically, of course, but I shall sand it anyway. Zen grey, so I want to put plenty on there. Just put that on there. Give it a second. I can look at my friend's stickers then. Chris, Jeff, and oh, who's that? The Baron Flights, is that? It's so hard to see. Nick. There we go. Give that a quick sand. You can see that. I don't know if you saw that at all. Anyway. I had another thought, guys. This structure all of a sudden looks quite sort of lightweight compared to the wing. My idea was to possibly put cap strips on it. By the way, I've done a rough CG check with the wings and the motor on and the tailplane on, and it comes out about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 15-20 mil behind the CG, and that's without the battery. So I think I'm going to have lots of opportunity to mind dinner for servers in the wings, in the tail. But that being said, I think cap strips might actually add quite a bit of strength to it and give it a bit of a nicer look on the tailplane. A little bit more work, granted. This one is going to have to be reduced down in height to make way for the cap strip. Otherwise it's going to be higher than the centre section. I've cut the hinge slots and hopefully we can slot them in there. These are the extra thick ones, so they might be a little bit stiff. We'll have a go. This is slightly harder to line up because it's tapered. So you can't actually just mark the centre line, but there we go. Actually, that's okay. Okay, so there we are. 2 properly hinged elevators now, so that's good. And yeah, definitely, if I cap strip it, I can add a lot more strength. Okay, guys, there we are. A nice hour spent just putting the cap strips on and putting the sideways strips on, and then I'll just taper them down on the trailing edge when it's dry. I've also added a little triangular piece there, and I think looking at the leading edge, I said I'd just sand it down into the curve, but I think I'm tempted to put a little spacer between the cap strips there as well, just to give it that little bit more a body, because it's quite thin. When you look at the side I've done against the side I haven't done, I think it was worth doing. This really looks quite naked and delicate, so I think it was a good idea. I can't do this side just yet because I've run out of pins. I've got big pins, but they're just going to split the wood and stuff, so they'll have to wait. So next time I'm in the model shop, I'll buy some more medium-sized T-pins. I don't think I'm going to do the underneath, you know. I think I'm just going to do the top surface. There's not a lot to be gained from doing the underneath. So I've taken it off the board. It feels, it's not as twisty and it does feel stronger for it. So what I'll do the other side and we can sand it up and that'll be ready for covering. Okay, so what we'll do then, in the next video I'll start the covering, and in the meantime I'll sand all this to shape, do the other side, and that'll be ready for covering. And then yeah, it'll be the wings and the tail, and I'll also have a go at fitting the wheel spats as well, and it'll be getting very close just to radio install and we'll be ready for the maiden. So thanks very much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, helps with the algorithm, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys, bye. Thanks for looking in, thanks for watching, and thank you very much if you should comment. That's brilliant too. Cheers.